please welcome Bas Kennis.
Yeah, you actually called me a keynote player?
The keyboard player.
Keyboard player.
The pianist.
Yeah.
No piano here, but the keyboard.
Yeah, no, actually, absolutely. That's
so, how many fans do you have?
I don't know.
Oh.
Quite a lot in Holland,
Yes.
actually. I think we sell a big deal of CDs here for the last 10 years. So
show us what you have done with these people the last 10 years, or what they have done with you, together with you.
yeah, that's what I'm going to do right now, of course.
Floor's yours.
All right. Actually, she was right. It's the first time that I'm standing in front of a big audience, and the big black thing in front of me is not a piano. It's a desk, and it's also black. But still, I think I have a great story for you all to share. What I'd like to talk about, and I have to fire up my computer. Yes, there it is. I'd like to talk today about two things. I'd like to talk about my band and the things that we have been doing in the past 10 years with the emphasis on new technology and new things that we have added to our albums, to our CDs, to give the people more than just music. And with that, to add an extra boost to record sales. And the second thing I'd like to talk about and actually like to show you is the thing that we've been doing with the last album. And that's the album that's coming out next week on the 3rd of October. The album is called October, and we have attached to this album a new website. And this website actually represents the process of recording the album itself. I'm not going to talk about that right now. I'm going to show you a bit further on in the talk. Let me just talk about my band. We've been around for the last 10 years, and we've made 7 albums the last 10. And we're pretty successful. If I may say, we almost every album got at least to the double platinum status. Which means that it's sold more than 150,000, 200,000 copies. And that's pretty much for Holland standards. Every album got at least 2 top 10 hit singles out of it, so we had a lot of publicity and a lot of attention for our music. Still, and as Monique also told me, for the last 7 years we've been the best played band, best played group, best played thing on Dutch radio ever. So that's pretty good. But though we have all this attention, it doesn't really give you a lot of album sales. It does, but you have to do things to keep on selling albums, especially these days when downloading is such a big problem. Let me show you a graph of the album Helder that we sold in '98. It sold about 230,000 copies, and that was quite a lot for that time. Actually, for nowadays, it's a lot more. But imagine that we would be able to sell this same album for the next 10 years, or we would have been able to postpone the release and put it in '99 or 2000, 2001, whatever you would get about this graph. And this is, what you see here is how music sales of albums have gone down the last 10 years in Holland. We took the numbers and we put it on our own numbers that we sold with that album of '98. And then you get about this. And of course the reason for this is illegal downloading. In the year 2000, 2001, you got the Napster thing going on. Everybody started to download music with peer-to-peer sites, share it, and as a result of that, music went down and more down. Let me compare this to what we have actually done with our albums. On this graph, you see what we've been doing with the last albums that we released the last 10 years. And we're not doing that bad, actually. You can see Blauwruis is a pretty good selling album, and especially Moja, in times where things were really going down, we sold a very lot of them, relatively. So, but still, there are a lot of other factors, of course. There are a lot of factors to whether you sell an album or not. And of course, you have to have great music. The second thing is you have to have great marketing. And we have this big advantage that we as a band sell in a very broad age group. We have a lot of people among our fans that really have the money and have the will to go to the record shop and buy a physical CD and not go downloading it somewhere for free. And that's pretty good for us. There's also things like a gap between two albums. If you release two albums too close to each other, the next one will sell less because you have to create a need for it. And of course, there are also things like if you're in the media for some reason, then you get attention for it, and your album sales go up because the Blauwe Ruis album really sold very well. But the reason was terrible because Chris, our drummer, by the time he died in a motor crash, and we got all this attention that we absolutely didn't want. But the album sold. So all those factors add up to whether an album sells or not. And the thing that I'd like to talk about now is what can you do with new media, new technology to make an album even more attractive than just a couple of songs. Let me take Blauwe Ruis. Blauwe Ruis was one that sold very well. What we also did with that album was we gave the audience extra content. We added to this album another CD, which was for free, and we put on that all the recordings that we did for Blauwe Ruis, but live with an orchestra. So people that bought the CD really got a lot of content, and this pretty much worked, but not to the extent that we really wanted, because the album itself, you know, the normal version without the live orchestra thing sold most, because everybody just wanted the normal album. In some reason, I don't know. You get a lot, and they just buy the plain one. So that worked, but to some extent. With Omarm, we said, well, let's concentrate on the quality of the audio. By the time Philips released its SRCD new media, it's a kind of it was a new kind of CD with an extra layer added to it, on which you could put very high quality audio, a lot higher in quality than a normal CD. And so we did this thing with them, and we recorded this album in high quality, and we put it on this high quality new media, a super audio CD. And the big thing of it was that it could be, if you put it in your normal CD player, it was just a regular CD, and if you put it into your SRCD player, it was a super audio CD which sounded a lot better. But since the whole world starts to listen to MP3, which is total rubbish if you compare it to the quality of this kind of recordings, that didn't work at all. Well, we had some attention because of it, because of the action that we did with the thing that we did with Philips, but we didn't really have the idea that we sold a lot of albums because of this thing. And actually, the format super audio CD never made it because it's only for the freaks. Yeah, it is. What we did, that was even more, even newer. With the album Het Eind van het Begin, it was the best of. We made it also available as a music memory card. I don't know if anyone here has ever bought a music memory card. Anyone? No, well, that just says it all. We did it, we got some attention out of it, but actually I got it here. It's pretty amazing because it looks like a CD, but when you open it, there's only this inside. And we said, well, the idea was that people, now that PDAs and cell phones and MP3 players were coming up rapidly, we said, well, we just give them a media that they can put straight in and play that from their portable gear. But I think we sold about 100 of them, so that didn't work.